Hello everyone! In this video we're going to be talking about the 3 things that I no longer spend money on in 2022. Not spending money in this case means that I'm not going to buy them because I either don't need those anymore or I already have some and I don't really see a need to have more in 2022. I would like to point out that I don't consider myself a minimalist. I am a non-minimalist. It doesn't mean that I would like to gather all sorts of things that I call the dust collectors, but I think certain ideas about minimalism are a little bit too extreme for me. I do like minimalist aesthetics. I do like bare walls. I like the clean, decluttered space. But I don't really think that I should challenge myself to live with one set of spoons and forks and knives, or to have one pair of shoes and so on. I would like to look at this list from an essentialist point of view. What is it that is really important to me to have or not to have? Before we begin, please subscribe to my channel. It will help me enormously to develop it further, and it will let other people just like you discover my videos. Thanks a bunch. All right, let's dive into the list of things that I no longer buy. And by the way, these items are in no particular order. Item number 1, new clothes. That doesn't really mean that I will not be buying any clothes at all this year. The point is, pretty much all the clothes that I own now or that I'm buying lately is secondhand, with exception of underwear. The only one item that I bought in 2022 that was new from the retail store was a hoodie that I'm not even sure if I like. Why so? I do it not to contribute to the mass market production, and the beauty of that is that I can actually spend less on the more quality stuff. I usually go for some timeless basics, white shirts, woolen sweaters or woolen trousers, good fitting jeans, timeless coats. I bought this sweater, 100% wool, for only €3. Number 2, bags. Pretty much the same that applies to the clothes also applies to bags. If I would be to buy bags, I would also buy secondhand. However, currently I own 4 bags in the backpack and they cover all my needs. So that would be 2 smaller bags for everyday use, 1 tote bag, 1 backpack, and a clutch bag for some very rare occasion when I actually go out because that's allowed. I really don't see a need to do anything with my bag wardrobe anytime soon. I am the person who really wears the things that she loves for a while. That's why it might take me a little bit more time to find the piece that I really love, that I know that I will be using every day, and that will be my to-go item. I really don't need any variety in this sense. Number 3, home decor. By home decor, I mean all sorts of decorative pillows or throws, perhaps candles. If I were to buy something, I would probably go for posters and maybe art. I would rather trade the home decor for some houseplants. Number 4, cups and mugs. I put them in a separate category because I love mugs, but I know that I'm only using my favorite mug. In this case, I am quite a minimalist. I do have more than 1 mug, to be fair, because, well, I sometimes would like to drink different beverages and I would prefer to have, I am pretty content with what I have and I don't really need more. Number 5, souvenirs. That's something that I haven't been buying for a long time. And by souvenirs, I mean certain like small tchotchke that you could buy in souvenir shops, magnets and that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, we are in pandemic, like nobody's going anywhere. Yeah, I have nowhere to go in the first place to bring souvenirs from. But if we imagine that's possible in 2022, what I prefer to get as a souvenir is, first of all, a memory, and then probably certain things that I could use in any other way. 2 years ago, when I went to New Zealand, I brought a hoodie from there. So that's something that I was wearing for some time before, well, I wore it off. And every time I was wearing that hoodie, I remembered my time in New Zealand. So my advice, if you want to have a souvenir, get something that you can use in more or less everyday life. Number 6, shampoo. Both shampoo and conditioner are things that I don't use for quite a while right now, and that's something that I do not advertise, I do not recommend. This is just something that works for me. I just use a very neutral shower gel to just wash my body and wash my hair as well. I have absolutely no problems with my hair. I spend pretty much like 0 time or money to care about my hair. I go to the hairdressers once a year, so no problem at all. And I think this is just the case that I can afford that. It fits my situation, but it might be just totally, absolutely different for you. Number 7, manicures. Well, if again we put aside the fact that I cannot just really go to the salon and do my nails, I learned to do manicures myself pretty decently. I have a lamp, I have some gel polishes, I have certain tools to do my nails, to cut my own cuticle. That is something that every Russian woman can relate to. Outside of the former Soviet Union countries, it's quite hard to find a service that will be on the level as high as the manicure that you can get in Russia. Of course, the key is to find a Russian person who could do that for me, and I did. Her services were top-notch in Amsterdam. I found it pretty pricey to do every 4 weeks, plus all the time that I have to spend to go to the appointment and back. So I decided to do it myself, and it works pretty well. It doesn't last as long as the salon manicure, but my manicure costs me essentially just my time at this moment, and I am very happy with this solution. We continue with some female stuff, and number 8 is lipstick. If I have to go somewhere, I usually have to wear a mask, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to wear lipstick when you have to wear a mask, and basically that is the only reason. I have some lipsticks to use. I sometimes use them at home, I sometimes use those for videos, but I don't plan to buy new anytime soon. Number 9, courses and subscriptions. Here I have to explain. I'm unable to speak. By courses and subscriptions, I mean the subscription services in general. Some of them provide courses, for example, Skillshare or Masterclass. I think these are really good, high-quality services. However, this is not something that I plan to use next year, unless something changes. For me, it was quite a thing when the pandemic started. I bought a bunch of different services, and I was using some courses from there and other streaming services, for example, to watch TV shows. For example, I canceled my Skillshare subscription because I just realized that I don't use it as much as I would like to. And for the same reason, I canceled my Netflix because I just apparently not that much of a movie person. That being said, it's important to note that I would love to buy the individual courses if I find a need to do that. It could be a fitness course, it could be some professional course, and that rule of not buying courses also doesn't apply to language classes. Number 10, sports membership. By sports memberships, I mean something like membership in a gym or in a dance studio. I used to go to a pole dance studio. I canceled my subscription, and a part of me feels bad about it because, well, it's nice to support local businesses and probably buy their online classes, but I stopped doing that because the way classes were made, like there was no system behind them. It was pretty fun, but I preferred some more structured learning, so I just moved on to training myself. So yeah, in a nutshell, I don't buy any sports memberships because I exercise at home. I'm not gonna lie, that takes some willpower. Next item, number 11, stationery and notebooks. Oh my god, I love stationery. And I love notebooks, and I had the whole stack of those, and they were empty, and I never used them. But since I moved all my note-taking and all my notes to the iPad, and now I take all my notes digitally, I don't need those notebooks anymore, so I don't use them. Therefore, I'm not buying them in 2022. That's all I have to say. Number 12, jewelry. I'm the kind of person who doesn't really wear that much jewelry or doesn't want to change jewelry, even though I think that often jewelry is a very simple way to elevate a look. I have some jewelry that I like, and I don't plan to buy anything else in 2022. And the last but not least, number 13, plastic stuff. I try to make the conscious effort not to use a lot of plastic or not to use plastic when I can. And for me, that means to choose a more sustainable, more eco-friendly alternative. For example, if I need to buy a carpet, that will be a woolen carpet or a cotton carpet, and not the one that is made out of polyester or something. I would prefer to have a multi-use bottle. For example, I have a couple of bottles that are thermo bottles, so they can keep the beverages cold and hot for a longer period of time. On top of the fact that they are reusable, they also are made out of metal, so it is a better alternative to plastic. Another example is cotton shopping bags. I barely ever get the plastic bags from the supermarket, only in those rare cases when I don't have my cotton shopper with me. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of things that are sold in the supermarkets in the plastic packaging. I'm consciously trying to reduce my use of plastic. One of the things that I find very important is, and that I would kind of loop back to my first point of this video, that I buy secondhand clothing. Because I buy secondhand clothing and I aim for better materials, so do more natural materials, I avoid buying clothes that are made of polyester and acrylic fibers. If you wash a garment that is made out of acrylic fibers in the washing machine, they produce a lot of microfibers that are made out of this, well, acrylic plastic stuff. And these microfibers actually are the ones that via sewage end up in the ocean and they pollute the ocean. And microplastic pollution is quite a thing. It's quite a problem, and I would like personally not to contribute to that problem. When I found out about that, I was really shocked. Like, that was the moment when I'm like, okay, no acrylic sweaters for me. Even if that looks like the best sweater on earth, I'm not buying it because of the material it's made of. I would link an article that explains what kind of fibers actually produce or shed more of these microfibers during the washing cycles. I think it's our collective effort to do something about that. All right, on this eco note, I would like to end this video. Did you find it interesting? Is there anything that you are not buying in 2022? I would like to know in the comments under this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't yet. And I will see you next week. Bye!